Hi, welcome to The Journey. I'm Julieann Hartman, and I am just blown away by the show that you're going to witness for the next 4 weeks. This is a testimony about Pamela Hillman, who really should not be living anymore after what this woman has gone through. I mean, from everywhere from just complete drug addict to alcoholism to being raped, being molested, several husbands, just you name it, incarcerations many times. I am just blown away, just mainly because of how God met her any place that she was willing to meet him. I didn't matter if she was on the floor of a hotel room she shouldn't have been in, or she was at a church crying out to the Lord. He's so good. And you guys are going to see just how good he is through these next 4 episodes of The Journey. So this is part 1 of the Pamela Hillman story, and I'm so glad that you're going to witness it today. Welcome to the show, Pamela. Thank you so much for coming on and joining us. Okay, so everybody better just get ready because this is going to be a roller coaster ride, to say the least.
Say the least.
So, I mean, just the fact of 35 years of drug abuse and to look at this gorgeous woman right now on camera that you're like, only God. I mean,
Oh my God.
You know, we do a pre-interview and Pamela and I got to do it yesterday. And just the fact that I told her, I said, you should be in a nursing home sucking your thumb based on what you have gone through. But God, none of the above, to be doing all the things that you are, it just blows me away. So
he's in the miracle working business.
Yes, he is. He is. So, all right. So let's start off with day 1. All right. So let me know a little bit about your family. Like, what family were you born into? Was there any religious belief at all? Was Jesus in there at all? You tell.
Yeah. So I had a great grandmother. She wasn't a great grandmother. She was my grandmother, but She was awesome. She was a devout Christian. She played piano in the church for 65 years.
Oh my God.
Talk about getting Jesus instilled in me. Yeah. Yeah. But, so she played piano, but she also would cook for the church. She would cook for the pastors after church, and they would come to her home. And I was 5 years old. This jolly old big guy, he's so happy, and he puts his hand on me and he says, "This one here's special. She's going to do great things for God one day." Now, what I know today in the spirit realm, that was an impartation. That was a prophetic word and seeds for my destiny. I know that with everything I am. So, and the way that I know that is because I heard that throughout the destructive life I was in. I would be somewhere. I would be in a drug house or just somewhere I wasn't supposed to be, and I would hear, "You don't belong here. You're going to do great things one day. Get out." And it was really amazing that I would hear stories later that there was a drive-by shooting. Somebody got killed in the house, or somebody OD'd in the house, or just something horrific. They got busted, but I would always hear the voice that said, "You don't belong here, get out." And I would leave. But it's amazing how the enemy hears that too. He knows that's an impartation. That's a seed that's dropped into my spirit. And he comes in shortly after that. I'm still 5 years old. And my dad, he was in the military and became an alcoholic. When he comes back, he's fondling my sister and I. Well, this is where it started. He's not doing it yet. I'm actually at the house with my dad alone. And there's my sister and my mom are gone, and there's a little puppy outside. I'm playing outside in the snow, and there's a puppy, and I bring him home, I have this rescue tendency inside of me, and it started very early. And so I tie him up to the post, and my dad comes to the door. He says, "What are you doing? What's that?" And I said, "Daddy, can I please have it?" I remember this like it was yesterday. I said, "Please, can I have the puppy? Please, he's cold. He's out." So he says, "Come upstairs with me and you can have the puppy." I've gone upstairs with my dad many times. I've laid down and taken a nap with my dad. I don't fear my dad. I get upstairs this time, it's different. So he starts rubbing his thing on me, and I thought it was a snake. I was scared, and I start feeling it penetrating, and I'm crying, and he says, "Why are you crying?" And I ran out. I'm thinking, why are you? What a thing to ask somebody. Why are you crying? But anyway, so my mom's a Playboy bunny. She shortly after that, she found out he was doing that with my sister as well. And excuse my voice, excuse my this. It's actually starting to catch a little bit, and I'm losing it. So I apologize if I put a cough drop in my mouth.
Don't worry about it. You sound great.
It turned out to be like a laryngitis kind of thing here and there. But so my mom did throw them out. But I remember seeing those suitcases being thrown out the front porch and thinking I did it. Thinking I'm not going to have a daddy now because I caused this. I caused my dad to be thrown out of our family. So we still visited. But I remember my grandmother saying, "Just act like it didn't happen. Just put it under the rug. Don't ever talk about it again. Just act like it never happened."
So Pamela, was this your grandma on your mom or dad's side?
My dad's side.
Okay.
My dad's side. I was very close to her. I loved her like a mom. I mean, she was more the mom figure than my mom was. And especially
I want to go back to because you just kind of brushed over your mom with the Playboy bunny. So
yeah.
She was probably one of the originals, right?
Oh yeah. The first one that was open was here in Atlanta. And so she was a cocktail waitress, but she did some of the poses. She did. She won Prettiest Legs 3 years in a row. She was in newspapers and all kinds of stuff, and bumper pool champion, and so she has pictures of me sitting on Hugh Hefner's lap at 6 years old. And but this is the thing: my sister and I would put on her little bunny ears. She had this big chest full of all these different colored ears and bunny tail and high heels. And so we would put those on and prance around the house. And I always knew I was going to be a bunny. I always knew that I would be a Playboy bunny one day. And I actually got offered to do it at a very young age, I might add. But I didn't, because I was modeling and just getting into that, and I thought it would ruin my career. So God protected me with that.
So now, your dad does this. Did you know he was doing it to your sister?
I believe he was doing it with my sister a lot more, because my sister turned out to be mentally ill. And she tells the story of actually a spirit coming in. It made a form of a skeleton, and this black cloud came in the room when my dad left, and it entered her left eye. And ever since, she heard voices and just all kinds of things. So she's diagnosed with schizophrenia, manic depressant, bipolar, all those things at 16 years old.
Oh, now is she older or younger than you?
11 months older.
Mm. So, all right. So then this happens with you now, but just let me give us a little example of what is life like at home before this thing happens with your dad. Was it like you guys were, going to the park every day as a family?
Yeah. She took us. I remember going to the zoo, going to the park,
Okay.
It was a normal family until Dad, started the heavy drinking. And then it ended. It was over.
Do you know what
my mom got with a hippie guy?
Question: do you know what brought the alcohol on with your dad?
While he was in the service, he actually played steel guitar with Elvis in the Navy overseas. We got pictures of that too.
So just maybe the things that he saw, like, what do you think triggered that?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of them do come back in the, PSTD. So.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, okay, so then that happens. Now you tell your mom, and your mom's like, "You're out of here."
Mhm. Yeah.
And so now what happens from that point?
So we still get to visit my dad, at my grandma's, and I remember always longing to be in my dad's arms. I always just wanted to have my dad. We all long for that father figure. We were created to have a father figure, and when that father is they're absent, then we tend to put the rejection comes on. There was so much I am not loved. The core belief system started, and I'm not loved, I'm not worthy, I'm not believed, because at first I wasn't believed that this was actually happening. So but every person actually, any trauma, even a divorce in a family is a trauma.
Yes.
So it creates that core belief system in every person. And then, the enemy comes in and he just builds on each of those traumas. And we have shame, we have guilt, we have the condemnation, all the, rejection. I had so much rejection. Yeah. Abandonment.
So now your grandma says to sweep it under the rug, and your dad moves out. So now you've taken all of that responsibility on yourself.
Talk about
5?
yeah.
At 5?
Well, this was 6.
Okay.
I'm 6, and by this time, my mom had. There were a couple of years went by, but there was a friend of the family of my grandma's on my mom's side that his name was Bo. He's no longer living. I can say his name, but he was pretty much prepping and setting the stage for my sister and I, meaning that he jumped in really quick and started bringing groceries, started giving us bags of money, buying all the clothes, just trying to, win us over, which he did, bringing us puppies and ducks and, just little girl stuff. And then by, I guess 9, he's even more filtrated into our life. And mom meets a hippie guy that she starts dating and ultimately marries. But before that, I I was always a bit more mature than my age was, because I listened and I watched and I was just quiet, and then I would be the center of attention. Whenever I was comfortable, whenever I felt safe, really. And but my sister always hung out with older people, and I followed my sister. So she's hanging out with this 16-year-old and they're smoking pot. So 9 years old, I start smoking pot. And then my sister goes to this hippie guy my mom's dating to his vehicle and gets pot out of his glove box. And he finds out, and then it became like a family discussion. And my mom's so upset. She's never done drugs. She doesn't want anything to do with drugs. And he convinces her just to take a puff. So in that puff became another puff. Then it became a happy time. Then it became a hungry time. Then it became a family affair. So we're going camping at least once a month. They get married. We're going more like every 2 weeks, and he's teaching us all this survival stuff. I loved it. But he's bringing drugs, MDA, any kind of thing that we, wanted to try. And telling us, if you want anything, don't go on the street and get it, because you don't know what you're going to get. come to me and I'll get it. I thought, this is a great guy. My dad. But it was terrible. It was, I look back and I'm like, Mom, you
Gosh,
should have
so
done
now,
something.
if you're this young, how old is your mom?
Well, she was 16 when she had my sister and 17 when she had me. So she's,
Like,
fairly young.
and then she's like in her 30 or late 20s, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's probably the boyfriend is too
Probably
around that
both.
age. Wow.
Yeah. He was a
Okay.
little bit
So
older. I think he was 10 years older.
when
Yeah.
you're talking about Bo, so your mom was not dating Bo.
No. But
So he was just
so
a
Bo's out of the
family.
picture now that Bill's in the picture.
Okay. So, but Bo came around and was he trying to get with your mom, you think?
No, I think he already had my mom. I think he had already been with my mom. He had been with her 6 sisters. I mean, he just,
Oh,
he
okay.
had them all smooth.
Got it.
So, and he was part of the mafia. He had judges under his thumb. He had, golfers. He knew everybody and anybody, even Elvis.
Right.
He just was really filtrated in with
Right.
every type of people.
So then
So
he goes away, and then the boyfriend
Bill's in
comes
the
in. They
picture.
get married.
Yep, they get married. He was really the only the real dad that I ever had that never tried anything with me. And I loved him dearly, even though, the other side of it is he's giving us drugs. That's like, which one's better here,
Yeah.
But, he made sure that we still did well in school. He took us places. He wouldn't let us use anything during the week. It was just, it was kind of an oxymoron there, but that was just what I had dealt to me. So that's, but I still had those wounds that were still there, even with the drugs I was using. And then when Mom and Bill divorced, I just went way out there. I got with this drummer guy, and he was like my world. I started during the summer. I was traveling in his band with him, and he introduced me to the needle at 12 years old.
Wait a minute.
And
So you're 12 and you're dating a drummer. How old was he?
I think he was about 6 years older.
Okay, so he's like 18.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so you're traveling with him, and no one's saying, "Hey, Pamela, don't you think you're too young?"
My mom, she didn't know the extent of the drug use by that time.
Okay.
Bo's back in the picture. Bo is back in the picture, and he's giving me bags of Quaaludes, thousands of Quaaludes that he gets from his pharmacy buddies. And he had everybody under his thumb. He just had everybody. Anyway, so I'm dealing Quaaludes at 12 years old at school and pot. And Mom, she pretty much knows it. She's working all the time to make ends meet, but I'm now working, selling drugs and making a lot of money.
Right.
And so I start paying her part rent, but she wants me in at midnight. And, now I'm independent and I'm, can't make me come home. But then she knocks the door down, coming after me. So anyway, it was something. So I move out. I move in with a friend nearby, a schoolmate and her mother. And I'm 15 by now. I'm 15. And maybe I'm 14, going close to 15, because my mom calls my dad and tells him that I'm unruly. I'm out there. I've moved out, and send the police, come get her. I can't do anything with her. And they do. They pick me up. They take me to Alabama. And I'm
So
staying
is
with
that
my
where they were
dad, and he's
living?
drinking and drinking. He and his wife drinking.
So wait, so what happened to the drummer?
So I'm still in love with the
Oh,
drummer.
you're still with him. Okay.
But I'm writing him, and the letters are not getting to him because my dad and his wife are going to the mailbox and taking him out. So
Okay.
anyway,
So they move you to Alabama.
yeah. And my dad starts trying things with me, and he can't now because I'm 15. I'm working. I've got my own car, and I'm not going to have it. So I call mom and I tell her what he's doing, and she says, I don't believe you. You're staying there.
Mm.
So I call Bo. I tell Bo. I tell him what she's doing, what he's doing, and he comes and gets me that week. And he just tells my dad. He explains that we're going to get her in another school and get her. She's going back to her mom's and she'll be fine. But Bo takes me to a hotel for 3 days, brings me every kind of drug there is, and he knew cocaine turned out to be my favorite at that point. And so just partied, and then he takes me home, and now this during the time that I was dating Ricky, the drummer, mom had this guy who was a friend that lived around the corner that smoked pot with all of us, basically. And he's 10 years older than I am, but she would have him come over and just kind of hang out and watch us at night. And it was basically he was partying with us,
Right.
but he was our friend. And so his name's Buster. And when I get back from my dad's, I run into Buster. And, he was my good buddy then. He was my turned out really good friend. So we start dating and, having sex, and I think I'm in love. He says all the right things, buys all the right things, and we're going to get married. So mom consents. She really didn't consent. She was totally against it. And she finally I said, Mom, we're just going to run away and get married if you don't. And so she did. And he moves me to Alabama to his family's thousands of acres of farm land. And this is the thing, when he was here, when I was living with him here in Atlanta, he would get drunk and he would beat me up. And I just, I was always calling Bo to rescue me. And he would come over and he would really warn him that you don't want to lay another hand on her or you're going to suffer some consequences. And, so Buster just up and takes me out of state and puts this beautiful picture in my head of what we're going to live, how we're going to be living in this great life. And it wasn't. He was doing this big farming and all that, and he was bringing all these animals, these wild animals to me, which was the best thing there for me, because if I wasn't complying and being under his control all the time, especially if he got drunk, I mean, dare I go to the store by myself? Never. And if I went to the store, we went together. And if some man looked at me and he saw him look at me and saw that I turned around and looked or something, he would hit me right there in the store because he said, I provoked it. I was enticing him. So and eventually he tied me up and he said, you're not going anywhere. You're going to stay right here. He would choke me and rape me and just beat me all the time. And I finally, one time I told one of his family members, his aunt, and she told me, get over here and you can stay with me. And I told him, I said, I'm going over there. And he says, okay, I'll take you. It was in the evening, it was night. And he takes me down this road that it was a bad area town. It was a dirt road and it was really bad. And the people, it was just, they were really bad. So he throws me out, pushes me out of the car, and turns around, takes off. And I am just looking around and I'm crying, I'm praying, because I did know the Lord. I knew. And there's a ditch right there, a big ditch. And I see him turn around, and the headlights are coming back toward me. And I'm thinking, well, he came to his senses. He's going to take me there. So I'm turning around, I'm standing, and he speeds up when he gets close.
Oh, gosh.
And he tries to run me over. So I'm running and I'm dodging, and I jump this ditch and land in the ditch, and he runs over the ditch, and I'm under it. And I finally got out, and I just took off through this field. And I finally escaped that whole nightmare. And my sister and her husband came and got me, and I stayed with them when I got back to Atlanta. And there are just so many other stories that are in the midst of all those.
So how old are you at this point?
By this time, 16.
Okay.
16, probably close to 17.
Okay.
I do call Bo. Bo was the go-to rescue all the time. Give me drugs.
Did Bo ever rape you or make you have sex with him?
Oh, always. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Ugh.
Yeah.
How much older was Bo than you?
Oh, he's old enough to be my mom's dad.
Oh my God. Your mom's dad?
Yeah. Yeah.
God,
he's got to be at least he's got to be at least 15 years older than my mom. So
oh my God. Just
yeah.
There are some sick people out there.
Yeah.
So we've got so then now where are you? So you go to your sisters and you're living with them.
I go to my sisters. I'm in the drug scene. I'm in the calling. I'm meeting a lot of people that are introducing me to other people where I can make money. So basically the seeds that were planted by me going upstairs with my dad, I can get what I want by going upstairs, whether, it's there or not. I start prostituting basically at 17. Yeah. And I start using IVs again at 17, and I meet this guy, word of mouth through this other guy, or people. And I can't remember. I was always dancing. I was always going to clubs and the life of the party, and always had a fake ID for older. I started working at the steakhouse at 13 and driving because I had a fake ID, and going to clubs all the time. So I loved to dance. I love to dance still. I love to dance. And so I would meet a lot of people, and I would get a lot of offers. And it turned out to be a lifestyle for a short period, just a short period till I met this other man. And he owned this lock, safe, and key company, and he taught me the trade. We hit it off right away. And we lived together. I worked for him. I got pregnant about 3 years into it when I was 20, and we decided to get married.
So he was the father of the baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because I wasn't doing any of that anymore. I was working.
So let's stop here for a second, because it's not every day that you get to meet somebody that has gone through some of the things that you've gone through. And I'm always very curious about this stuff, but there's two things I want to cover. what goes into is it that you were so high all the time that, being a prostitute, like, it was just like a job? Or like, what was it like the first time when you got paid for it? How do you feel?
Well, my thought was this, okay? I mean, so many people, women, girls, were giving themselves away, having sex all the time, and these guys just using them and abusing them and throwing them away. And when I got offered a good amount of money, I was like, well, I need to get paid for it. Instead of give myself away. And this was the thing. I had to get high. I had to be drinking before I did it. I always had to have chugs of drinks before I did any sexual acts. And then afterwards, I got really high. I just had to go somewhere else and not even think about it, not even think about that man, and I had so much bitterness toward the men for a long time. And the Lord really did a inner healing on that, because he showed me so many wounds in other men. And he actually used me through a course of time to help heal those men. And some of them were actually clients. It's a long story.
Oh my gosh.
I will get to that later down the road in the madam part.
So you're just going about your life then. You decided it's like, hey, if girls are doing it for free and they're doing it anyway, well, I might as well do it and get paid for it. Right. I think one thing that you had said to me in the pre-interview was, you were a very smart businesswoman. And so you just figured you'd make money at the things that you did, whether it was good or bad, right? Right. And that's so right. That was one way.
As long as I didn't get caught.
Right. Yeah.
And I, yeah.
So, okay. So now, so you meet this next gentleman, and you guys date for a while. Are you still prostituting, or what's your life look like while you're dating?
No. I didn't do any of that. No.
Okay.
In fact, when I found out I was pregnant at 20, I quit using drugs. Well, I have to say that I did smoke pot occasionally.
Okay.
I didn't, yeah. And
but the fact that you could quit cold turkey like that.
I know.
Yeah. So before you got pregnant, though, what is this gentleman's name?
Dennis.
Dennis. Okay. So before you got pregnant, what was you and Dennis's life like?
We had the lock shop, and we had our home.
Was it a picket fence house situation?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you were not doing drugs?
But it wasn't like your normal life.
Okay.
We partied. Yeah, we had like kilos of coke. We had people that were in the business big time that were our friends that we went over to their big homes and partied. So no, it wasn't just the normal life. No.
Okay. So you guys are dating and you're living together.
Yeah.
You're just living together. And then you get pregnant.
Yeah.
Okay. And now how old are you?
I'm 20.
You're 20. Okay. 20. And so obviously he's the father. And so you decide you're going to quit everything, but just a little pot once in a while.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
I did.
All right. So now here we are. You're going to have a baby.
I have him. Yep. I definitely had him.
Now, was there any abuse in your relationship with Dennis?
That was my next statement. He kept using, he kept drinking. He started dating a stripper.
While you guys are married.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Punches me in the stomach at 6-7 months pregnant. And I went back into the tub, and that was it. That was it. I wasn't going to lose the baby because of this drunken idiot. So I left, and he kind of straightened up a little bit. And so, of course, I went back. I was notorious for going back, forgiving. Oh my gosh, they would say, "I promise I'll never do it again. I'm so sorry. I was drinking." Da, da, da. You know, I was such a sucker for hearing that. But let me tell you, I still have a very forgiving heart. I don't, go through any of that anymore because I have a wonderful husband.
Yeah.
But I'm just so quick to forgive. Even if somebody offends me at church or, anywhere, I am so quick to, it says to agree with the adversary quickly, lest he take you to court. That's part of it. Because if you hold an offense, if somebody does a wrong to you and you hold that offense and harbor that unforgiveness, you actually open yourself up for a tormenting spirit, either in your health, in your mind, or in a relationship. You'll be tormented somehow, because it says in Matthew, I want to say Matthew 11, about a tormenting spirit where the king actually turns him over to the tormentor. I don't remember the exact scripture right now, but you can Google it.
Well, thank God. I mean, you see, you've got the heart of God. You always did. What's so interesting in hearing your story, it just, you're a very sweet, kind woman. And, you were most likely, but I'm sure that you started off being that way too, but being beat and that constant abuse, how could you not be that sweet, kind? Now you don't, who can you trust?
Right.
First of all, when your own father takes advantage of you, when you were so young.
Yeah. And I just had a remembrance, and I don't bring this up, but every time I would go into a bar, I would just stop to have a drink or go in anywhere, even at the modeling agencies that I went to, different ones, they labeled me, "You look like trouble. Oh, here comes trouble." And I carried that for so long. And it was like, yeah, okay.
Oh,
and it was like, that was my identity, was trouble. But this is what the Lord showed me when somebody said something about it. And I said, no. Oh, no, I do not receive that label any longer. I will not receive that word. Do not call me trouble again, because I am no longer trouble.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so we've got to be careful. I say that because I'm telling the audience, be careful of the words that are spoken over you. If somebody says you're stupid, do not make agreement with that word, with that label, because you are not stupid. You are created in the image of God. He is all creative, and you have that same creativity. You have that same mindset, because the mind of the righteous is blessed. So we have the mind of Christ. He says we have it. So don't listen to any labels, any words, anything that, even as a child, if you still have those things that are playing in your mind, that, I was always told I was ugly, right? And don't listen to that. You look in the mirror and you say, I am created in the image of God. I am beautiful. I am uniquely me by design. Just start getting the scriptures. In fact, we have prayer sheets and faith sheets and I am sheets on the website, on our resource page.
What's your website?
It's lifechangerslegacy.org.
Okay.
Those are free. They're on beautiful butterfly paper. And we send those into all the prisons. Of course, we do the men's on different. We don't do butterfly paper for them.
Well, and so we're going to get to what you're doing now a little bit later, but we are at the end of this show, because there's so much to your story that we're going to have a few parts here, because we can't just end it here. So Everybody, this is the end of part 1 of the Pamela Hillman story, and you must watch part 2. So I'm going to leave you at that, and we will see you next time on the journey.
It gets so much better.
Well, are you as blown away as I am? Man, this story just goes on and on and on. And when you think it's getting to be the redemption part, it just goes down into this black hole again. I am just so excited that you guys get to join me on multiple episodes of the Pamela Hillman story. She's a wonderful woman, and the things that she is doing for the Lord now will just blow you away. If you want to find out more about her, please go into the description below, because there is so much going on that you need to be a part of. Thank you so much for joining me, and we will see you next time.